This looks scary.
So yeah, this is just in Kamchatka, Russia, for the 4th phase. And I don't think we really knew where we were going or what we were doing, but so the helicopters they have there are like a school bus, right? And there's 3 pilots that sit in the front, and the door closes. You have no communication with them. Plus, they speak Russian and no English, so it doesn't really matter. And we're in the back, and all of a sudden we sat down, and there's this volcano exploding with a little cabin, and we're spending the night here. So I just jumped out and just started kind of snapping shots. And I don't know if the idea was that there's a volcano that was active and maybe we could snowboard on it, but once we got there, there's obviously no way you're riding this thing.
Jeez.
But all night you could watch lava coming down it. And, it's crazy.
Well, that's
crazy
scary.
We ended up sleeping in a tent actually, just to the left of this photo behind that cabin, and we woke up with ash all over our tent, just sort of, shake it off like you would rainwater. But pretty cool experience listening to that blowing up all night.
Yeah, I bet. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
and another one too, where you just fill the room with some smoke, dust, and then those holes we actually created. This is an old abandoned hotel that they spent millions and millions of dollars building, and then something happened. They ran out of money, and they just sat there for like 30 years or something like that. Never got finished. So we got to go in there and build some skate features, and then the idea was just to have some cool light. So we have a big light on the outside, and then just put a little smoke or dust kind of in the air, and then let it settle. And
beautiful.
Yeah, this is
beautiful.
Kick flipping over bump to bump.
We had a couple questions, and we'll run through it as we're clicking through here. There's any tips on bringing the best out of your athletes? How do you keep them and yourself motivated when resistance is high, but there's still potential for shots?
Oh, sometimes if motivation is low, that's that. I mean, I've begged and pleaded. I've got them to do it. I've begged and pleaded. They said not a chance. They walk away. The thing is too, and it depends on why they don't want to do it. If it's risky and they're going to hurt themselves, you don't really want to push,
right?
Because if they blow out their knee or something like that, or get really hurt, then it's on you. But if it's just a thing where they're lazy, it's like, come on, man, like everything is perfect. We could get something special here. We're already out here. Let's just make it happen. We don't have to do a hard trick. Just get in the air and do something. That kind of thing. Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah,
this photo
absolutely.
is that abandoned hotel again, and this we swept the grounds, and I just got a whole bunch of water, and we just poured water on the floor to create that reflection, and that's really all that was. So once he had the trick dialed, we threw the water down. It's the same thing, you're laying in the water. The camera is literally rested right on the water. Sometimes right in the water, depends on how deep the water is. But here it's, quarter inch, centimeter deep, something like that.
But then you get that perfect reflection on that. And it's great.
Yeah. And then you'll see in the bottom there's a little kind of like dusty stuff on the right-hand side. And that's like silt because it was old, like a concrete that, basically they poured it. It was perfectly smooth. And then 20 years of dust collecting, right? So you pour the water on there, this little bit of this
that kind of adds to it, it helps you to just know you didn't reflect it,
Yeah.
Kind of giving you that. We had another question. How has your photography shaped your perspective on life? How's it pushed you to go further?
Ooh. That's a hard question. I don't know if my photography has shaped my life so much as the travel that went with it. Seeing different cultures and different places, it opens your mind and your eyes to what else is out there. Just in the way other people live, and to be able to accept, different ideas and cultures and people and just, food, even for that matter, right? Just how different people live. It's quite amazing to, sit back and realize you've seen, 80 countries or whatever it is. I don't know if I have an answer for the actual, taking a picture would have, maybe I'm driving down the street and I look at a handrail, or I look at a thing of light and I
Yeah.
look at it maybe a little bit differently in
Right.
that sense. You're like,
Right. Me too.
I wonder if you could do something there. How could you incorporate, you know, a shot there? But
I mean, like this shot that's on the screen. This is just, I love the subtleness of having the athlete in there, but it's just like in itself is just art as well, the way you composed it. You know what I mean? With the arches and everything going and seeing things differently. I mean, that takes experience and time and to kind of find and see these different moments like that.
for sure. And what worked out with this is, you know, my original idea was to stand underneath him, looking up at the wide angle to show, sort of show the size of this.
Yeah.
But then once I got there, I realized that it was really tough to see what was going on.
Mm.
So I would stand there and I'd look beyond. I'm like, where can I go to that's far away from this that would actually show the entire surrounding? So that's kind of how that comes. And you know, it's funny too, because I shoot events and I've got this bib on saying I can go anywhere on the course, and I'm standing behind the crowd, and some of the guys in the crowd are like, what are you doing here when you could be up there? But a lot of times standing back and showing the whole scene is really the shot that you want. Having the crowd in there, not, you know, I think as an amateur, you want to get close and you want to be on the jump or under the jump or something like that. But so many times just to pull back and have, you know, the whole scene is you know, just a better shot. Makes more sense. And that's really what happened here. You know, I just went for a walk and like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then, you know, you start framing things up and seeing what works, and you know, you see the light post there. It's you know, it's not cut off. That's all on purpose. You know, I make sure that I don't cut that, and I leave a little bit of space there for it, so it has time. You know, something, you know, to breathe, I guess you call it. And
beautiful, Scott.
And you don't want to go too far in. You stand out a little bit so that all those different arches kind of separate and create that texture.
That comes with experience, guys. That's what you get with Scott. You get this experience and seeing and looking at it differently. And that's how you can separate your photography or what you're shooting or how you're doing it and looking at it in a different light and different way of how he's done in this way. It's like, it's an overcast day, but that didn't stop radically different, or, you know, like that's a crazy like snowboard trick. But like, to me, it's like, it's still something that like isn't the craziest big jump or different thing like that, but the simplicity of it is all made due to the way that it was composed. So really cool. I like that a lot. We had another question. What? Sorry.
No,
go ahead, Scott.
No,
I was going to say, with the looming ongoing travel bans and travel related production challenges, how do you expect the industry to adapt? How are you adapting?
Oh, well, lucky for me, when the snow comes, I live in the best place in the world for snowboarding, so I'm not going to need to go anywhere. And I don't know. I mean, I've definitely had a few trips canceled. I've got one coming up in September. That's, you know, we're definitely right on the fence. It's obviously, this is going to change a lot of stuff. But I don't know. You know, I do have to say, though, that the break has actually been nice. I think that, you know, obviously a lot of businesses suffer, like mine, but it's also given me a chance to sort of reflect on things, slow down, take more time at home. You know, I just came from a camping trip within British Columbia, you know, areas I've never been before. So I'm trying to make the best of it, and it is what it is. And, you know, I'm sure I'll get back out there. Start doing this again, but
absolutely.
But it definitely has been a plus, you know, maybe not on the financial side, but definitely on the mental side, just to put the camera down and not really think about, you know, work for a few months and hang with the kids. So
absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. We got two more pictures we're gonna flip through as we kind of hit some of those other questions right now, and we'll just kind of go through there. So there's a couple that I saw that we didn't. Sorry, we're just looking through that. Can you talk about your balance? Can you talk about your balance between commercial passion projects and the blurred lines between the two, shooting So I just pulled that up there. So, and the blurred lines between the two, shooting your passions for work.
Well, for me, I've set it up so that they're both the same thing. So people talk about these passion projects, but everything I shoot, whether I'm hired or I'm just doing it on my own, I shoot it how I want, because that's kind of why I've been hired, right? To shoot it with your eye. So I kind of consider everything I do a passion project, you know, in the sense that I don't take jobs that I don't like to go out and do. So
true.
So they're all fun as long as I'm outside and, you know, working with people that want to be there, and, you know, they're all great. I don't ever just go out and shoot something and not think that I could submit it somewhere to get published.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, my biggest commercial, you know, client would be Red Bull, and they do the coolest stuff on the earth.
Yeah.
So, you know, like that is a passion project. You know, just being on that trip is, you know, is amazing, and it's an amazing experience, and that's all I really want to do is just shoot the things that I'm having fun doing.
Right.
That's why I'm not shooting weddings. I'm shooting, you know, fun stuff that I like to do myself and you know, be surrounded by.
Wow.
So.
Wow, that's a great answer. Yeah. I love that. And yeah.
I was going to say with this photo, which is funny, is because people are probably like, oh, he's probably hiking back up to hit the jump again or to the top of the line. But really, we were out on a windy day and we couldn't do anything. And I'm just sitting on a snowmobile, and I look over and the sun's low because it's early in the year, and then there's snow flying, and I was like, hey, why don't you just go walk up that hill?
Yeah.
And that's really what it is, right? And that's where you make the shots with the rider sometimes. You
Absolutely.
know, sometimes their mind is hitting a jump and they got the 3 tricks that they want to get that day, but sometimes there's nothing to do except, you know, some hike shots.
Right.
So it was just one of those things where the sun was whatever, and he walked up and down it a few times, and you know, and
love it.
Gust of wind hits at the right time, and boom.
Being prepared.
You know, it's being prepared, and just being open to
seeing the bigger picture, you know, too. You know, being aware of your surroundings, and really, if you're not in the moment, then you're gonna miss up. I got a break. You know what I mean? Like, not paying attention, and this moment is gone on that. So I think that's an important lesson of being in the moment as we're shooting and what we're doing. And this is one of our last shots here, and we'll just kind of talk. I did want to touch on has having children influenced your photography?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh, you must have so many shots of your kids, but so the thing so as soon as I put a camera in front of my face, I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm stressing. I start sweating. I want to get the perfect shot.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting my daughter's, I don't know, 3rd birthday party with all our friends, and I'm trying to get them on the couch to get a group shot, and they just messing around. And I start getting mad. Sit there! Everyone look! And then it was at that point, and I'm like, you know what? This is insane. You're not. As soon as the camera's in front of my face, I'm not experiencing that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I find that I'm actually not shooting around my kids. You know, unless it's an iPhone kind of quick shot.
Right.
I'm just experiencing the moment, because I have trouble turning off that work mode where I'll have to get the perfect shot no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
So.
Wow.
So if anything, I'd say that, you know, having the kids around, it's allowed me time to enjoy moments, I guess, without trying to document everything. And that's what I find funny too with social media, is everybody wants to go and document everything. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to go do the hike or do the exploring. They just want a quick shot to make it look like they did it, you know. And that's the difference, I think, with guys in our industry, where we actually enjoy doing it, and it's not always about having to photograph it and prove to someone that you were there.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love that. That's great, dude. That's just as we're coming up here. I know that we have one last question, and then we'll invite John right back into the room here, wrap things up. So the most meaningful photo you've shot. I know this, for me, it changes very often. What about you? Wow. Is there a story or something you could just kind of briefly tell us about of the most meaningful photo?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one too. So, a lot of the art of flight shots are, as a collection, are huge. I really think that that really boosted my career. So in that sense, it was meaningful and just amazing to be part of it. I could think of a shot of my daughter holding our newborn son in the hospital, and they're both basically naked in a chair holding each other, and it's the most innocent, kind of amazing shot. So that for me is an awesome shot that really means a lot. It's just this perfect moment. But I don't know if there's something that other than that really stands out.
That's great though. Those are no, why are you saying sorry? Those are meaningful to you, and that's what makes the shot. That makes your favorite photo. That's what keeps you going.
Yeah, I think a lot of the shots that you saw today are they're in there as my some of my favorites. And,
absolutely.
They're awesome trips that I went on. Great experiences. But there's a lot of other trips that I've been on that are amazing and just great for different reasons. But
love it.
Yeah.
Great work. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah. And we'll get John Lawrence back into the room here. And thank you. That was incredible, Scott. I really appreciate your time and telling us those stories behind your images and what you went through on that. So thank you so much for doing that and being here with us. Of course,
yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Looking forward to season 2.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Between Sets. Make sure to like and subscribe to be tuned in on all future episodes. Thank you.